Hey guys, back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at some leak stuff coming to Prodigy, so let's get into the video. Alright, so we finally got some more leak stuff. It's been a couple weeks, I'm pretty sure, since I last posted a video, and that's because I think Prodigy has been on a break, but we finally got some stuff today. We got some new pets and some new stuff coming for Starlight Festival, which should be coming back in the back to school update. So I think that we should be seeing some more stuff coming in the future, because I think Prodigy is ramping up for the back to school update. But yeah, let's go ahead and start off by looking at a new mount. Alright, so this is the mount right here. This is mount 51, and I believe this is going to be for Starlight Festival. It is a star. It kind of looks like one that's already in the game. I don't remember the name of it. I could probably find it in my inventory. So yeah, it looks pretty much exactly like this mount. For some reason, all of my stuff is messed up. But mount 30, I don't know what the real name of it is. So then we also have the mount, or the spine for the mount. So this is what that's going to look like. This is actually going to be based off of something that we're going to go over a little later. That is going to be a part of the Starlight Festival. Also, my voice is dying because I'm recording this for a second time. I just finished recording 20 minutes and I realized that I was literally only recording this screen. So if my voice starts to crack or something, that is because I am going to be talking for probably about 40 minutes straight at this point. So the next thing that we have is an evolution of the Painter Sprite, I believe is what the name used to be. I don't remember the name now, but this is going to be the third evolution for that. Here is the spine for that, and then here is the spine put together. So this is the attack animation for it that we're going to look at. So it looks pretty cool. We have like some paint flying off of it, which I didn't notice the first time I saw this. And then we also have some particles coming off in the background, which are cool as well. Then we have the idle animation for it right here, which is kind of exactly what you'd expect. And then here is the walk animation, which kind of looks weird, but overall, I'd say that this is pretty cool. The next pet that we have, an Orati. This is probably going to be the second evolution for it. So this is the icon for it. It kind of looks like a whale. Then we have the spine for it right here. And then here is that spine put together. So this thing does look pretty cool. As I said, it sort of looks like a whale. We can go ahead. Here is the walk animation for it, which is kind of what you'd expect. It's kind of just swimming around. Then we have the attack animation for it, which I think looks really cool. It feels really unique, and I like it a lot. So that's the attack animation, and then here is the idle animation, which is pretty similar to the walk animation. The next pet that we have is an evolution for Arctic Claw, so I think this is the counterpart to, I believe it's called Death Claw, which was added about last week, I think, or maybe 2 weeks ago at this point. So this is what that looks like, or at least the icon. Here's the spine, and here is that spine put together. So we have the walk animation for it right now. Here is the idle animation for it, which I wouldn't say is too interesting. And then here's the attack animation, which I think looks exactly like Dustclaw, if that's what it was named. I'm not 100% sure. But overall, I don't think that this one is too interesting. And then the final one or I guess, no, we still have another line after this. This is the plant version of the Seahorse line. So I think this is probably the final one, unless they're going to add a shadow variant of it as well, which they probably will. So this is the first evolution of it. Here is the spine for it, and then here is that spine put together. So we can go ahead. Here is the attack animation for it, which is kind of weird. I think probably all of them look sort of like that though, so I guess they're probably all weird, but this one just kind of feels odd. Then we have the idle animation for it, which isn't anything too special. And then here's the walk animation, which looks pretty similar to the idle animation for it. Then the next pet that we have is the evolution for that. This icon looks pretty weird. I don't know what it is about it. It's kind of like the nose, but I think that's probably what makes it weird. Here is the spine for it, and then here is that spine put together. This is the attack animation for it right here. So you can see that there's sort of like sort of green thing right here. Then we have some particles, which look pretty cool. So I'd say the attack animation is pretty nice. Here's the idle animation for it, nothing too special. And then the walk animation is about what you'd expect. Then the final evolution for it is Pet 381. I don't remember the names of anything for this. I think one of them is going to be called Beezing, but other than that, I don't think I know anything about these. I think these are going to be coming in expert mode, if they're still doing expert mode, which I'm not 100% sure about. I think they still will do an expert mode though. So this should hopefully come in expert mode. So that was the icon. Here's the spine for it. And then here is that spine put together. So we're on the walk animation for it right now. Here's the idle animation for it. And then here is the attack animation, which looks alright. Kind of like the exact same as the past two we've looked at with these particles in the background right here. So yeah, that is that evolution line. And then we also have the Krakenthur evolution line. These guys are really cool. This is the icon. This is going to be a variant of Squibble. So this one looks really cool. Here is the icon, or no, the spine for it. We just looked at the icon. And then here is the attack animation, or I guess the animation for it. So this is the attack animation. You can see its eyes glow up and become yellow. Then it just jumps up and releases some like ink right here. So it looks pretty good. Here is the idle animation for it. And then here is the walk animation, which looks pretty cool with like the ink coming out of it in the bottom. Then we have the second evolution of it, which the icon for this one looks really good. I like the purple and gold color scheme of it a lot. Here is the spine for it, and here is that spine put together. So you can see there's sort of like some clouds. This is going to be a storm pet, if I haven't said that already. And I think this will be coming in expert mode as well. So here is the attack animation for it. You can see that it sort of gets like a purple-ish tint right here. And then it attacks. The attack animation looks pretty good. Then we have the idle animation and the walk animation, which I like the walk animation with the, like, I guess ink coming out of the back of it. Or maybe these are supposed to be storm clouds. I'm not 100% sure. And then the final evolution, I believe this is the squirrel variant. So this icon does look very good. Here is the spine for it. And then here is, I guess we're going to start with the walk animation, which looks really good as well. Here's the idle animation for it. And then the attack animation looks really nice. So you can see it gets this like sort of electric thing in the background. It jumps up and you can see its eyes glowing, and you get the purple tint on this part of the head, which looks really cool. This is probably my favorite form of a variant that they've done, or at least for the hard mode ones, and I guess now the expert mode ones. I'd say the only one that really competes with it is Arctic Queen, and I still think this one blows it out of the water. So I think these are probably the coolest variants that we have gotten for a pet. Then moving on to some stuff for Starlight Festival. This is called Icon Lock Core Member Bronze. So I guess we're going to be getting stuff locked behind core membership now for Starlight Festival. Although I think that's kind of how it has been, but it's just been member. Was core a thing last time Starlight Festival was around? I guess it was. So this will be interesting to see what they do with that. It could also potentially be for the treasure track if they're going to add a fourth tier or something like that, which I don't think they're going to do, but that's also a possibility. Then we have this thing right here, which is called the Star Pad. If you remember earlier, we had the mount, which sort of looks like exactly like this. You can see that this is called Star Pad. This is just the version of it on, which looks a lot more like the mount. So I think this is going to be sort of like a teleporter that we've had for the fish statue in Lamplight Town during Spring Fest. and then the Moon Gate during Moonlight Festival. I think this is sort of going to be like that. I don't know where it's going to be located, but I think that we are going to be getting some sort of portal. Hopefully, it's not members only, but it probably will be. And we can see the area. This is called the Starlight Road. So I think this is what the area is going to end up being called. So this is going to be like sort of star themed. You can see that it has the Zircon Stello colors, which look really nice. There isn't really any yellow around here though. The background looks pretty cool with the stars, and I guess this is probably like a galaxy in the background. So I don't know if each star is going to be like a battle. So like here you do a battle, here you do a battle, here maybe you do a boss battle, here you do a battle, here you do a battle, and then here's another boss battle. I don't know if that's how it's going to work, but that's sort of what I think. Then we have Area A9, which is part of the Starlight Road again. We have this purple thing right here, which I don't think was part of the last one. I guess we can look. Yeah, they didn't really have the purple on the sides for that. So maybe this will be a bit of a different difficulty, although I'm not really sure. So yeah, this place does look really cool. You have some more of these galaxies in the background, which look nice. Then we have the next area, which is B7, which has some shooting stars. You can see some more galaxies in the background. There's sort of some like clouds here, and this area looks pretty nice. And then we have the final one, which is kind of interesting. I do know that Starlight Festival and the Academy Hard Mode are supposed to be both releasing as back-to-school updates. Whether they're going to be correlated, I'm not really sure, because you can see there's the shadow symbol here, which obviously that could be with the Puppet Master. And then we also have what looks sort of like the Academy right here. So whether Starlight Festival and the Academy Hard Mode are going to be correlated, I'm not really sure. But we'll just have to see. I kind of lean towards no, because that would kind of make it weird when Starlight Festival goes away, because it'd have to implement a whole new way to get into the Academy for hard mode. But we'll see what happens with that. This area definitely does look really cool. And then the final thing, which isn't really too interesting, this is called Tileset Town November 9th. I don't know why they still have November there, because Starlight Festival is in August, September now. So there's not really any real reason for the November there. It probably should say August, but you can see that we have the star pad right here. So that is going to be in the tile set for Starlight Festival. And then I also was going to talk about some stuff in the data and metadata, but for some reason it hasn't recorded twice in a row. So my voice is kind of dying. I've had to talk for over about 40 minutes for this video. So I'll maybe make a separate video tomorrow, or maybe I'll just include it on Wednesday. I'm not sure. But maybe tomorrow we'll get a video about the stuff added in the data and metadata, but that's not going to be in today's video. So yeah, that's going to go ahead and end up this one. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and bye.